Well, hello everyone. My name is Dara Rath, and I'm the pastor at Faith Lutheran Church in Port Elgin, Ontario, Canada. And each week I bring you a story. Some of them are funny. Some of them just give you something to think about. This is a wonderful story. We just returned from a trip to Newfoundland, and so this story reminded me about our trip, some of the things that we saw there, and so I hope you enjoy this story. In the small town of Cowhead, Newfoundland, where the breeze could change its mind 3 times before lunch, 12-year-old Nora McLean had a hobby no one quite understood. She collected weather. Not forecasts, not data, weather itself. Her bedroom shelves were lined with jars, hundreds of them, each carefully labeled in her looping handwrite. First snow, 2021. Fog from the dock, April. Thunderstorm air, 3:17 p.m. Of course the jars looked empty, but Nora insisted they weren't. Each one feels different, she says, holding a jar up to the light, as if the right angle might reveal its secret. You just have to pay attention. Most adults smiled politely. Kids at school teased her, but Nora didn't mind. She started the collection for one person, her grandfather, Henry. Henry had been a fisherman all his life, the kind who could smell a storm before the clouds even thought about gathering. When Nora was little, he'd take her out on the pier and teach her how to read the sky. He'd point to a faint line on the horizon and say, "That's a change coming. You can always feel a change before you see it." Then 2 years ago, Henry suffered a stroke. His memory became patchy, like a radio station fading in and out. Some days he remembered Nora perfectly. Other days, he didn't recognize her at all. But he always remembered the weather. So Nora began bottling it for him. Every day after school, she'd run outside with an empty jar, twist off the lid, and hold it open to the world. She'd wait, sometimes a minute, sometimes 10, until she felt she'd captured the moment. Then she'd seal it tight, label it, and place it on her shelf. On Saturday in early spring, Nora brought a box of jars to the long-term care facility where Henry now lived. He was having a good day, eyes bright, and smile was easy. "What have you got there, little bird?" he asked. "Memory," she said, placing the box on his lap. He opened the first jar. Nothing happened, of course, but Henry closed his eyes, breathed in deeply, and whispered, "Smells like the morning the salmon ran heavy." Nora's heart thumped. He remembered. He opened another. "Ah, the fog," he said, "the kind that makes the boats sound closer than they are." Jar after jar, Henry named moments she thought were lost forever. Not perfectly, not always clearly, but enough. Enough to know that something inside him still reached for the world. When they reached the last jar, warm wind before rain, Henry held it a very long time. "You know," he said softly, "weather doesn't stay put. It moves, it changes, but the feeling of it, that stays." Nora leaned her head on his shoulder. "That's why I saved it." Henry kissed the top of her hair. "You didn't save the weather, little bird. You saved me." And the first time in months, Norma believed him. Isn't this a wonderful story? And it just reminds me so much of our trip to Newfoundland, all about the weather, because we had all kinds of different weather there. Pouring rain and a bit of sunshine. It was very cold, frost, etc. all in 12 days. So thanks for taking 5, and blessings on your day, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for taking 5.